students, a pleasant day to everyone. This is Teacher Claire welcoming you all once again to another video lesson in English for academic and professional purposes. I hope that you are as ready as I am to start learning and have fun today. Remember, we're all in this together, so let's get it on. To start with, please take note that this video lesson is intended as instructional intervention to further ensure students' learning in the advent of virtual classes. And for the video lesson number 1's passed, congratulations to those who have perfect scores, and to everyone for a job well done. Good job, keep it up. Here are today's objectives. Comprehend position paper's parts, its contents, and composition. Through an example I have written, you will get familiar and sure will understand the parts of a position paper and what each of these parts contain. Construct a sample position paper effectively. After the video lesson, you are expected to write an output or your own constructed position paper about a current issue. On that note, let's discuss. The crucial part of any type of writing is always the beginning, because this will make your readers decide to either continue reading the work or just leave it behind. These are what we need to have in the introduction of our position paper: topic background, writer's position, and the thesis statement. Now here is an example of introduction paragraph. The first sentence tells us what the writer is about to discuss in the paper. She provided a background of why there is a change in the way classes are held nowadays. This sentence emphasized the topic background number 1 and gave us information on reason for the new normal. The last sentence of the paragraph is the writer's thesis statement, for it contains the subject for discussion, the writer's stand, and the reason for this stand, which are the 3 parts of a thesis statement. Reviewing on thesis statement, the specific subject of discussion in the sample article leading towards the arguments of the writer is the manner in which students respond to the utilization of virtual classes. The writer, as signaled by the expression "I beg to differ," disagrees with the student's way of dealing with the virtual classes. And the writer's reason is the belief of learning is a two-way process. Both the students and the teachers must exert effort to ensure learning is effective. And that paragraph is what we call the introduction. Moving on to the next part, we have the body. This is the part that contains the writer's belief and opinions, the arguments he or she will make about the issue, which should be supported by factual evidences, and the counterclaim opposing the writer's arguments. This part may contain 2 to 3 or more paragraphs. And here is an example paragraph. This sentence gave the reader's idea contradicting the writer's claim on students' failure to attend virtual classes. It provided reason for the students' way of improperly dealing with the virtual classes. Obviously, it does not support the writer's claim. The next statement emphasized more on specific reasons for students' failure to attend virtual classes. Again, it does not support the writer's claim and stand. The next sentence provided valid reason, again, for students' absence in the virtual classes or failure to comply with visual requirements. This, too, does not support the writer's claim and stand. The second paragraph showed us the counterclaims, or the other side of the issue. It opposed the writer's point of view, but it is included in the paper to show the readers that the writer is not biased in his or her claim. Now, the next step is to disprove the counterclaim. So here is an example paragraph. The writer made use of factual evidence to support her arguments, claim, and stand by mentioning a specific local government unit or LGU that helped in solving the students' problem with the gadgets to use for virtual classes. The writer expressed opinions relevant to her claim that students do not seriously take virtual classes even assistance was already provided. Here, the writer emphasized that students and teachers both have the role to play in the advent of the new normal. Now, those statements in paragraph number 3 are the writer's rebut to prove her claim and stand on the issue argued about. And here is another one. The sentences gave us the writer's evidence proving that her stand is right. The writer proved her stand by telling the readers her point of view regarding the issue. She mentioned actual situations relevant to her arguments. In this sentence, the writer gave her final emphasis on the reason for her stand. The paragraph number 4 included the writer's arguments, personal views, and factual evidences. And for the last part of opposition paper, we have the conclusion. A good conclusion provides a summary of your key points, which is the restatement of your arguments, the suggested plan or course of action, or it could also be a simple call for action. Here is an example of the last paragraph. In these sentences, the writer summarized key points by stating why we have the visual class. That is to continue the learning process. In this part of the conclusion paragraph, the writer asked the target readers who are the students in particular to do something in order to solve the issue. The writer used call for action to end the paper. I hope you can still follow on the lesson discussion. To further give you important detail about writing a position paper, here are its 3 types that we may write. They are academic, internal, and public. Now let's have the academic position paper. It centers on issues related to students' social life and school matters. Topics are issues existing in school or simply those which affect students' performance in the academe. For the next type of a position paper, we have the internal position paper. It includes public statements of a delegation's position on the topics under consideration in a particular committee. This is usually constructed for or by a delegate in an international community. They are a broad-based statement of the country's policies on a specific issue. This includes what you publicly tell other nations. And the last type of a position paper is the public position paper. It contains a public statement of your country's positions on the topics being discussed at the conference. In this paper, you write a public statement of your country's positions on the topics being discussed at the conference, and it should include brief statements about where your country stands on the issue in question. Now it's time to check your understanding. Try this out. Multiple choice. Write the letter of the correct answer on your paper.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And that's all for today. Again, this is Teacher Claire, always wishing you all to carry a happy heart and a joyful spirit every day. Thank you and God bless you all.